What's going on? This is Kevin. Welcome to episode 16 of Ion Stream. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is a space engineer's blog. Welcome, fellow engineers. Today I'm trying to get my cat off me. He will not leave me alone. He is pestering me. Something crazy. But started exploring modding, and which led me to this utility, visual scripting. So I'm going to be going into that quite a bit. I went into that yesterday on episode 15, and I'm going to continue going into that a bit deeper. So yeah, that's where we're going right now. We're at this whole point here. Yeah. So we're gonna get on over to there real quick. Now, let's just show you how you get to this, honestly, because let me get this all situated. Okay. Oh, now you see all the television series I've watched. Oh shit, you're not supposed to see that. Okay, in a nutshell, if you go to your my computer and then go to your drive C, and now you know that I'm running out of space. Woohoo! Go into your users folder, then go into the folder for your user account. Find the app data folder. Oh, my bad. I'm actually going for the wrong location. You go to the application folder for this. In my case, I've got it on drive D. Go to Common, Space Engineers, find Tools, and you see this folder, VRage Editor. Double click on it. And then you'll see this batch file called Visual Scripting, and you will double click on that. When you do so, it will bring up this window. There is some additional setup you will need to do, and I highly recommend that if you want to do some visual scripting, do some searching online. See if you can find some information. I will go ahead and link in the comments to some tutorials about visual scripting, but yeah. Once you've got the setup done, there are a series of different folders or different scripts that you can look at to see how it's done. For example, let's go into the app folder, and under content you should see visual scripts right here, and let's see, Arena Escort, and you just double click on any one of them, and then you'll see over here in the Scripts Explorer you have level scripts, machine state scripts, machine states. And essentially this will allow you to take several different worlds and create, you know, the facsimile of different systems, and being able to travel from one to another using this coding. And this is just a very simple script, this one right here. Start machine state, Jesus. Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and restart it because I don't want that script mixed in with mine. I'm not gonna use it ever. Let's reopen my script, which is in the users folder. My Windows user folder, app data, roaming, space engineers, mods, and then proving grounds. In there is my script. And when I open up the script, it also pulls in any dependencies. And what I mean by dependencies is that in this level script, I am calling these other two scripts within it, so it loads those two as well. I'm not going to assume anybody knows anything about anything. Now, yesterday, when I was demonstrating this, it was very slow, and even when I went offline and stopped streaming, it was still slow. And what it is how many active blocks I've got going here, and I don't know if there's a limit, and I've been curious about that myself. So one of the things I really want to try doing today is see this add GPS here? What it is, oops. What it is it is this whole line, or my intent is to make it this whole line right here contained in a series of in a for loop. And this is it right here. And then instead of having to call this great big long line, eating up what appears to be space, making my system even slower than I want it to be, it will be all reduced to this, and it will use logic and commands to essentially increment through the different waypoints, and but this whole thing will generate all 18 waypoints and then also change the colors depending on, and I haven't added the color scheming system yet, and I was actually in the process of doing that yesterday when I ended the video. So let's get back to that, and then we're gonna code it, and let me start commenting things here just so that people can understand what's going on here. I'm declaring a list variable, and it's a string. It contains strings. Then I've created this new list, which I'm feeding into that variable. So all of these should be in, when I set it right here, should be in the list name called GPS. That's what the setter is. I'm also collecting this waypoint right here, and this is our input. I forget what they call them. It's not a function. It's a node. That's it. This is our input node right here. This is our for loop node. This is our variable setter node. I declared the variable here. And these are the variable values that are in the GPS list variable. This output, I really don't necessarily care about it. The only thing I care about is the line. That's really all I care about, really. But I do need to take this, put that right there, and I might actually have something in here, but I don't know. I might have to put a sequence right here. I'm not really certain. We will find out. We're going to go ahead and set it up as though I do need to put one in there. Now, what the sequence does here is the sequencer. See how we've got this coming out from the body? This, you might say, is the loop path. And if you think of programming and the way a clock cycle works, for every, however the frequency is a loop, or a programming loop, or an instruction loop. And we're essentially inserting commands into this loop stream. And this is a loop stream. This is part of that loop stream. And I'm not even using proper terminology. I'm just kind of talking in metaphorical terms, really. But the path goes from this input. This gets processed next on the line, then this. Then depending upon the state of this for loop function, it's either going to go this way or it's going to go this way, the path. Right here, the sequencer, what it's doing is it's splitting it. It's making it go to both these directions simultaneously. But the sequencer does it in sequence. 0, 1, 2, blah, 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 blah. And you could have more and more down here. You really could. Frankly, most of my programming experience is completely hand coding, using Notepad++, that kind of thing. I have used Visual Basic, but it's not like this. It really isn't. This is... But what this does is it's turned into a script, something like this. What was that? Shift F5. And then I can... Actually, here, let's there. This is so far what I've got on my on my waypoint generator. But it actually sets up the objects and declares your variables and does everything you need. But in the design mode, it uses a visual editor to do it. And that's kind of cool. I think it makes it probably more accessible to people who aren't can't remember commands. They have bad memories, but they can at least see. But when I look at this, to me, it portends the time when programming is not going to be a specialty, and you're going to have you're going to have too many people that are suddenly programmers. But yes, I need to finish this, and one of the things I need to do to finish this is I'm going to put in this switch right here. Now, what this switch does is this, and that is, as it's going along, it uses this function right here, the at function, to look at my GPS. Dang it. My mouse keeps on doing that. I'm sorry, guys. My mouse, on the center wheel, if I tilt the center wheel to the right, it zooms in. If I turn it to the left, it zooms out. And I keep on accidentally tilting it to the left and right. But the variable, the list variable right here, GPS, I've defined it with these waypoints right here. Now right here, I'm using this for loop to count through those waypoints, and each time it counts through, as it goes through, it's going to start with this one and go to this one and this one and this one all the way down the line. Well, at the same time, I'm going to have this string input right here called waypoint. And it's going to play into something that's going to go on right here, which is it's going to set the color of the GPS point based upon. See, right now, you know, if I'm at the start line, I want waypoint 1 to be my current waypoint that I'm headed towards. Then waypoint 2.A will be the next, and then waypoint 2B and forward. Which is, and that's what I need to do. Then you start setting all these. And so for this line right here, I'll have a set of colors that are programmed that will go to this get color right here. And then here we'll have a set of colors that are programmed. And then here we'll have a set of colors that are programmed. And it's all going to, you know, vary based upon if we're on, okay, this switch right here, that's value, is actually coming from this right here. And it's just looping through there. It's going to loop from 0 to 17, which is going to be 18 places in essence. And that's how many spots are here. So it's going to come to waypoint 1. And then we're going to come down here at waypoint 1. If current waypoint that's going to come in over here, because right here, let me explain here. This is the key that might not be coming across. I have this other switch that's based upon the waypoints, and I want to make decision making on those waypoints. So over here, I'm just carrying the waypoint value through so that I can continue doing decision making processes based upon that waypoint. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to take and simplify all this over here by taking and the whole reason why I want to do this is you're seeing it. I'm bogging down the whole process over here by having all of this right here. By having all of this over here in this visual space, it slows this visual space down. But from a programming perspective, what I've done is I've replicated the same code sequence over and over again. And normally, in normal programming, what you do is you create a function that doesn't replicate code so much. It makes it more efficient, makes it faster. So that's what I'm doing right here, is I'm essentially turning this whole process that I've got here, I'm turning it into a function. And nobody can see that because I didn't switch it. Jesus Christ. Okay. Here. I feel like a numbskull. I'm still over here on that screen, aren't I? Well, let's switch it over to the visual scripting screen, which is right here. Okay, there we go, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. You've been sitting there listening to me for the past 30 minutes or whatever, and I've been blathering. You've been looking at an Explorer window. Okay. Let's get back into that. This is my function that I'm creating. This function is to replace all of this right over here. And here is the entirety of it. Well, unless you want to... Well, I guess we should go ahead and include these variables over here. I don't even know if I actually need them, but I've brought them over. And what they are the colors. I've got them all set. I've got current red, next red, future red, past red. Current green, next green, future green, past green. Current blue, next blue, future blue, past blue. And, you know, if you understand RGB, what I'm doing is I'm creating different colors based upon whether it's past, current, next, future, or past waypoint. And we'll build our waypoints based on it. We're going to use this input right here as our decision-making input to determine which colors are what. The way it'll work is that this input will represent the current waypoint. Every waypoint behind it will be the past waypoint, and every waypoint in front of it will be either the next or future waypoint. In fact, if, say, waypoint 4A is the current waypoint, 4B is the next waypoint, 4C, 5A, 5B, 6A, 6B, and all that will be the future. So, I need to start building the decision-making schemes that will go into changing the colors for the GPS, and so I can get this completed, remove all this crap here, make my code more efficient, make this browse much faster, and everything else that I've got thus far is all contained right in here. So far doing these GPSs has created this rigmarole. We need to fix that crap real fast. Slowing things down. And I really hope that the one thing that people can take away from a lot of what I'm doing here is, in a way, kind of a democratization of programming, because many people have the capacity to do just what I'm doing here, and programming in itself is very much it's a creative process, but it's much deeper than just paint and paper or a chisel and stone. It's very dynamic. Oh shit, okay. I don't need to paste. No, copy and paste. I mean, I can. Let's do it this way. Okay. I've got this switch. And if you know anything about programming, this is the equivalent of a switch, select, or select case statement or something like that. Now we need to Okay. Okay. Okay, there's our past colors, and I'm just going to basically how can I do this? I'm trying to think of how would be the best way to do this, how to sort this. If I start out assuming that they're all past, unless I come across the current waypoint. So if that value's null, might detect some flaws in how I was originally thinking about doing this. Okay. I think if we use this... Okay, so basically what I gotta do is come up with logic that will make one of 4 different conditions occur. If no waypoint's been specified yet, all waypoints are future color. So let's get that in there now. Right off the bat. Okay, we'll take this back here. We'll get the color involved here in just a minute. But we want to do this. And I believe the way you do nulls is like this. Yeah, that's right. We can't really... Yeah, never mind. They're index numbers and not names. I would rather have... Well, I mean, I could adapt it to be an index number. Okay, here's what I'm thinking of needing to do. And you create a variable. And we're going to call it... We're going to set it as a Boolean. And we're going to call it no waypoint. And then right here, we're going to set it. Like so. Now, one thing we will need to do, we need to put in a sequencer right here. We're going to drop that there. We're going to drop that to there. But we're also going to take this right here and drop it right there. And then we're just going to let that sit there. Now, over here, we're going to get into the branching. And we're going to use the setter of and actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to change the name of it. Is waypoint. Oh, good. Updated all across the board. Now we're going to take this little node here and draw it to here, and it's being a tard. Oh, wait a second here. What am I using a setter for? I want a getter. There we go. There we go. Now, if there is a waypoint, and I'm going to go ahead and Control-C this. Let me think about this one for just a minute. Yeah, this is how I'm going to do it. Just going to have a different one for each waypoint. But, frankly, I'm starting to think at this juncture, I need another subroutine or another function. And it should just come right out here. And essentially what I should have is just one block for each one, and that's it. One coming in, does its thing, and right out here to the color. I shouldn't have anything else here except for one block per value. That's ideally what I want. As well as the value and input for the pathway and the and I forget what there's a name for the difference between the black line and the white line, and I don't remember. I just started doing this kind of programming, and so I'm kind of iffy on it. I bet somebody could supply that information. So yeah, I'm really thinking about grabbing all this here. Let's just do a Control-C. We're going to go to New, and we're going to select, and I'm going to change GPS colors. Script, create. Now, let's get over here to the inputter. Okay, there's the input node. We're going to copy in here. And I don't need this branch right here necessarily. But I do want to go ahead and add Boolean value is waypoint. Oh, wait 1 second here. Yes, yes, we want to do it that way. We do. Is waypoint. The next one is just going to be the waypoint, and it is going to be a string. Now let's go back over to the add GPS, and we want to grab all these colors here, because all this color stuff is actually going to go over in our new script here, which is functionally equal. It's a function. That's what it is. Okay, let's just kind of grab all this here and let's get rid of it. And let's get an output here. Okay, okay, okay. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna keep this out here, and then we'll just have all the way down the line, we'll have a different, you know, we'll call this same change color, and then it will have 3 outputs that will go to this get color, and then we'll tie all of the different functions into that one output. But okay, let's get to this here. Yeah, that is float, right? How can I do this? Basically, I'm going to need to feed either these values in there. These actually need to be called future here. Interesting question here. How do I switch between these three different groups? Vying for this out. And actually, there's the fourth group. I forgot about the fourth group. Okay, now there we go. How do we switch between these groups? Oops, I think I might have to restart this. Yeah. Okay, here on a second. Let's save our script. And we're going to go ahead and close this out real quick. Now let's restart it here. It's already looking better. Let's see. Oh, yes, yes. Much, much better. Okay, let's see what functions we have available to us. Those are in-game and... This is an interesting dilemma. And that's where I'm kind of thinking I might need to rely on things, but I'm not certain. Okay. I don't think logic gates are going to help us here either. God dang it. Give me the best way to do this. I'm gonna have to do some research. That's what I have to do. I mean, frankly, if I were doing this script-wise, I would use something very similar to either serialized data or something like that to, and use a series of if-then statements. So I need to study real quick how I'd go about doing that. Well, I mean, this definitely makes sense as far as building strings. Tell you what, let's go look at some of these examples over here. The whole reason they give you these examples is for this kind of reverse engineering. Okay, I think I might know how I'm going to do this. Because, see, we can have multiple outputs here. So what we're going to do here is this. Then if I'm pretty certain what will happen here is, depending on which branch I take, it's going to choose the particular output that I'm desiring here. So this one could go just basically straight to future. Okay, now if there's a waypoint present, okay, and it's gonna go this way in essence. Okay. If that's true, now we're going to come over here and we're going to set a value of create a variable. We're going to call it past waypoint. Okay, in essence, what's going on here? The current waypoint is the current waypoint that we are on from outside of the function. The paint waypoint is the waypoint chain that we're now wanting to paint. And what I mean by that is over here. It crashed on me. Hopefully I got this saved. So let's restart this here. There's one right there. You little cunty bitch. Red, green, and blue. Yes. No waypoint in. It's automatically going to assume everything's going to be blue. Okay. And actually, I should go ahead and move this down here instead. So organizationally, it would work out better. Save that. That YouTube disconnected me. The bastards. YouTube, you suck. I'm sorry, but you do. And I know exactly how I'm going to do this now. Screw all the waypoint stuff. We'll take care of the waypoint stuff out there. We're going to get rid of this branch. We are going to just go ahead and throw a switch in here. We're going to call it a string. And we're just going to call it waypoint position string. Put that value right here. And we're going to have current. Actually, I don't want to make it anyway uppercase. Future. Past. And next. So on current, we're going to come over here. On future, we're going to come here. On past, we're going to come here. And on next, we're going to come here. That has got to be the simplest way to do this, right here. Now, let's go back over here to Proving Grounds. No, actually, we want to go back to Add GPS. Yes, and this is not change GPS color though, so. a script. Yes, those should be floating. Why aren't they? Here, so I'm going to go ahead and create a variable. Okay. In fact, let's go back over here. I didn't create one. Never mind, never mind, never mind. The way I'm designing this, I shouldn't need another one of these script calls right here. All I should have to do is just change this string input from either current, future, past, or next, and then the output colors will change accordingly. All for this color GPS input right there. So actually, I think this one first is going to be is waypoint. And this right here is going to be a branch. I'm going to put in a sequence right here. I'm going to go right here. We have another sequence for here. And in reality, we can go ahead and get rid of all that. Now that, because I'm wrong, I didn't need that there. Really all I need here is that value there. And then a setter, which is going to be is waypoint. Well, isn't that interesting? Yeah, okay, I feel like an idiot. Derp, 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 derp. There we go. I think that'll do that right there. So, if this value, if something exists on right here on this waypoint value, then the output here will be false. If there isn't anything, it'll be true. Or let me rephrase that. If it isn't null, this value is going to be true. If it's null, then this will be false. And right here, let's do some branching. We're going to get a getter in here. We're going to get is waypoint. If is waypoint is true, bring this right here. I do believe we need to also put in a sequencer. I thought I already put one in here. What happened to it? Swear to God I did that. Whatever. Okay. Keep on saving just to make certain that everything stays saved. If this is false, okay, we're going to create another variable here, and that is, we're going to call this one set color. And it is going to be a string value. And right here, we're going to do a getter. We're going to do set color there. And input that right there. Okay. Now, so if this value right here is true, it'll go here. This value will be true if this value is not null. Now we also need to take and input that to right there too. Oh, dang it. Oh, no, no, no. We don't want to input that value there. We want to input that this value right here. And we want to do a set right here. Set color. And the value is going to be future. Now just to fully explain here, when it gets to this point, if this value is null, it's going to set this variable to future. Then in this script here, it's going to come through here. It's going to see this the value set waypoint position as future, and it'll come along the string and output these values for red, green, and blue. So back over here, what comes out is going to be the values for red, green, blue, which will get fed into this, which will get fed into here. So that sets the future color. If there's no essentially if there's no waypoint value. There's no waypoint value provided. It's kind of implying that you're on the starting line, still waiting. Okay, now let us go on down the line. So now we're going to come to here, because as soon as we start to move and we go to the first waypoint, waypoint 1, that value is going to get fed into here. Then it's going to come through here. It's going to loop through this list. And as it's looping through the list, we're going to go to these switches, and it's going to do something different based upon which one of these positions it's in and what the input value is right there. So if it's generating waypoints and it's on waypoint 1 and its input, well, first off, we need to assume initially if we go this way, so let's do that right now. We're going to put a setter in there that's going to set the color. It's going to go right there. And the value we're going to set it to is past. So by default, when we go this path, all the waypoints are going to be red. Then at this point here, we want to go to an arithmetic, and we want to do an equals, and we want it to be, let's go ahead and move this out of the way a bit here. There. Oh. Whoops. Okay, we need to come down here like so. If okay, and then we need to create another one here. I'm going to call it isCurrent. Another variable. It's going to be a Boolean. And let's grab most of this here and kind of slide it down just a little bit here. And we're going to move that there. Then we're going to take and we're going to get a setter. Why aren't you taking that? Turkey. Run setter, output. Okay, there we go. Never mind. I think we should be able to do this right here, and that should work, I think. We'll find out. We will definitely find out. So if the value that this is outputting, which is cycling as it loops through here, it's going from here to here to here to here. If these two values are equal, it's going to turn this to a positive value. Actually, now that I look at this, this whole thing should really go way up here, like so. And this should go to here. And this should go to here. This removes the GPS. This updates the color. And gets the color, sets the color, and adds the new GPS. Excuse me. And I'm actually thinking I may not need this second select. I think... Okay, here, actually, let's do this. Let's take this here. And I'm not even certain now that I need that. I think I can actually just do some series of branches here. Okay, we'll set the color here. There we go. Okay, just to explain what I'm doing here. If it runs, this function runs, and there's no waypoint there, it's going to make all of the waypoint colors future color. If a waypoint value exists, it'll come through here, and at first, and because one exists, it's going to initially set all of the waypoint colors to the past. Now, this is all going to happen at the same clock tick as the counter. All right. So the first time this runs, and there's a value there, if that value is equal to the input, then it'll be true on this comparator, and then it will set that particular value to current, and then set is current to 1. On the next cycle through, because they won't equal each other anymore, okay, and if is current is false, let's control C that. We're going to put that right there. Oops. Run that to there and that to there. Okay, this line right here takes care of any situation where it somehow gets changed right here. And I'm actually looking at this, and I think I might even be able to pull this out. Because if it's not current, that means I haven't gotten to the point where that's equal. So it's eventually going to run to here. So yes, I can get rid of this. There we go. Let's do it just like this. And if this is true, then we're going to go to a new setter here. We're going to set color. And its value is going to be next. Like so. And let's create one more Boolean variable. And we're going to call this is next. And we're going to go to setter, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to set the is next value to positive, to 1, which is in Boolean 0, 1 are true and false, and So, yeah. Now we're going to add in another branch. And then past that, let's go to the next setter. And the next constant on that is going to be future. Okay, I think I have it now. We'll find out. And this is just going to explode, because I just know it. It's not going to work completely. I'm going to have to go back through and try to figure out what's going wrong. I don't need that there. So, let's look through this one more time, just to make certain that I got everything. Everything's on cue. So essentially, this line and this line, they will trigger at the same time. So that's going to come down here. And if there's a value there, it's going to be true. If there isn't, it's going to be false. And if it's false, everything's going to be set to a dark blue. But if it's true, it's going to come through here. If the values are equal, now remember, everything's dark blue at this point. If the values are equal, that means we're at the current waypoint. So if they're equal and this is true, then it's going to go this way. If we have a waypoint, but they're not equal, it's going to go down to here. It's going to go to false. And since we haven't set current yet, current's still going to be 0, so it's going to go to false. And since we haven't gone to next yet, next is still going to be 0, so that's going to be false. And then it's going to give us a past color. And it's going to keep on doing that and keep on doing that until the values are equal. Then it's going to go true. It's going to set it to the current color. And then it's going to set is current to 1. Then as it goes to the next cycle, is current's going to be 1. So this time, instead of going to false, it's going to go to true. And then it's going to do the next color for that waypoint. Then it's going to set the next to 1. And since the next cycle is going to be not equal, it's going to go to false. And since wait a second here, we're going to have to go through here real quick. We're going to add another setter here. And at this juncture, we're going to set the current back to 0, like so. So that the next time through, current is now 0, so it's going to go to false. But next is set to 1, so it's going to go to here. To future. And it's going to keep on going to future because we're not going to change next to anything but keep it that. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right now. That should work. So let's, I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to load game. Well, first off, let's make certain that you're seeing what I'm seeing here. So let's go ahead and go on over there to the game now. make certain that, yes, there it is. Refresh. And creative offline. Let's load. It's 4:20 somewhere on the planet. It's actually 4:38 somewhere on the planet, or 18 minutes after 4:20. Okay, the game is up. We're gonna press F11 twice. Okay, it's being slow, and the script is not running. You see here in running scripts, running level scripts, it's simply not there, which means there's something wrong. I've left a hole somewhere. We're gonna have to fix it. Not a big deal. This happens. Oh, you know what? I feel very dense right now. Okay, let's get in here. I started creating this and I never actually implemented it. I'm going to take a tad bit of a break, maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Okay, let's get back into this here. Yeah, getting rid of this is already speeding up the movement around of things. That was really slowing crap down a lot. You know what? I need to do something here. I can't, yeah. Gotta restart it. Not save it. And the main problem is I had deleted something that I shouldn't have. Okay, that right there should change everything. And honestly think that this should work without any other modifications. Let's see if it loads. We're gonna see if it loads. I honestly don't think it's going to, but I don't know. Just gonna find out. Not running. Okay, let's hop out of there. Or exit. No reason to save a damn thing. Now, one thing I will absolutely positively admit here, I have had issues getting scripts to run. So we may have issues related to that, possibly. Okay. One thing I definitely want to do, let's go ahead and get rid of all of this. And the main reason why is because I know that the this little bit of scripting never threw any errors. It's never thrown any errors whatsoever. The only bit of scripting that could possibly throw any error is this one right here. But I'm not really certain. I just don't know. And this could throw some errors too. But this doesn't seem like it would actually throw an error. Now, let's just do this just to make certain. Can run this. And the mere fact it's not loading definitely indicates where the error might lie. Let's try this. Okay, this is loading. Loading great. Actually, it looks like a really nice little self-contained function. Changes these values based on the input, waypoint position. Waypoint position's basically just a parameter that's fed to the function. You can see it right here. And here are the output values. Red. Ooh, okay. This really is saying single, and it should say floating. Honestly, it should be a floating value. That might be what's throwing the error. Well, honestly, wait a second. Isn't a single and a floating, they're just different sizes of the same type of number? I'll have to look into that really quick. That might be why it's saying single instead of floating. So yeah, let's take a look and see what we can figure out here. Yeah, they're single and double precision floating point numbers are just different sizes of floating point data and can be cleared. Okay, yeah, I was right. So that should not be an issue. That should not be an issue. But this does look like it compiled, and so let's go to the next one. Shift F5, and we're going to open. Or I'm sorry, F5, and it's going to be GPS. Add GPS. Oops, I think I figured out where the error's at there, guys. Add GPS is not compiling, and that is this one right here. Oh, ooh. I see. Something, I don't know. I honestly have no idea whether or not this is even going to be even remotely consequential. But in the grand scheme of things, it's something that I would want anyway. I want it to... Okay, let's save that. Still not compiling. Still nothing. Here, let's do this. I don't think this should have any effect whatsoever, but just in case it does, let's do this. Or hey, even better, just to make certain everything gets sequenced in such a way that all the variables should get filled. Uh-oh, okay, I see something else I'm missing here. There we go. Okay, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Gosh darn it, I'm not seeing anything right off hand that looks, I don't know, suspicious or this just isn't telling me anything. Okay, I mean, this seems ridiculously stupid, but let's find out anyway. Okay. I don't know if I can do it this way. In reality, yeah, I might have been overcomplicating this, honestly. Get the past. Fairy Mary. Here's my silly kitty back there. Okay, and then the last one here will be current. Now, I'd love to think that it was just intelligence in the design of the application that caught my inefficient coding and tried to correct it, but I know that's not the case. That just can't be the case. But I am getting rid of the color changer script. I don't need it. Get rid of that. Now I need to make certain that we are going to here. Actually, here, let's do this. And this is going to be a string value. Then we also want to create another one here called player ID, and it is going to be a long value. Okay. Now that there, and then I also want to go ahead and we're going to set the current waypoint, and it is going to be that value there. Okay, that was fucking weird. Now technically that means I could get rid of a lot of these lines here. And in fact, I'm just going to get rid of that there. I don't need it. But all these string names here, I can get rid of that line. And now I can use the getter here. Current waypoint. And that will feed right into there. And then getter player ID. I'll put that there. Now I'll go right there. And let's go ahead and do one more here. And it is going to be a vector 3D, and we're going to call it current Waypoint vector. And we're going to do a center. Okay, that is weird. Wouldn't let me set the name. Okay, now I should be able to get the getter here. Current waypoint vector. Excuse me, put that there. So I should be able to come over here. Essentially copy these right here to here. To here, to here, and to here. That way I don't have a bunch of lines crossing all over everything. I don't know how this programmatically works out differently. I haven't really looked into it yet. But this keeps me from having to draw lines clear across the whole screen, which really gets confusing after a while. You're like, damn, where am I going with this? Okay. Okay, almost done. Oh, shit. Oops, dang it. Okay, now let's see what happens. keeping my fingers crossed, but I don't have hope. It compiled. It compiled. It compiled. Okay, let's see what happens now. Oh, it's way after 10. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna pick this up tomorrow or maybe the next day. Maybe Friday, I'm not certain. But, yeah, coding can get kind of involved like this, trying to find errors. And unfortunately, debugging with this visual scripting is pretty lame, but we'll get it figured out. Alright, guys. You have a good one now. We're going to call this a night. And hopefully we will hear from you tomorrow, maybe the day after. I don't know. Y'all take it easy. Bye.